What's going on, YouTubers? It's the Natural Born Thriller, and welcome everyone to this SmackDown review, the show from November 1st, 2019. Um, for this SmackDown edition, they were in Buffalo, New York, and this was the the SmackDown after WWE Crown Jewel. Which, by the way, I'm gonna briefly talk about WWE Crown Jewel. Now, I didn't watch the show because I have more morals. I stand by what I say. I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say, I watched the show on the WWE network, which I didn't. What I did instead, I went on YouTube. I saw the battle royal, and then after that, I went to watch the highlights of it on YouTube. To find some highlights clips of it, and that's basically it for what I did with it. The show itself, by the looks of it, of what I heard from people as well, not a bad show. I guess you could say for the first time ever, for a WWE show at Saudi Arabia, it was a decent, good, passable show that people enjoy. But let me read to you the results of WWE Crown Jewel 2019 from October 31st, 2019 on the Halloween day for Saudi Arabia. Humberto Carrillo wins the 20-man Battle Royal to face AJ Styles for the WWE United States Championship in 12 minutes and 25 seconds. And we'll talk about that when I get to that match. And then we get the opening match. Brock Lesnar, with Paul Heyman, defends his WWE Championship by defeating Cain Velasquez, being accompanied by Rey Mysterio Jr. by submission in 2 minutes and 10 seconds. And then Rey Mysterio Jr. attacked Brock Lesnar after the match and everything with a steel chair and all that. I think it was a steel chair, if I recall, but based on the highlights I've seen. Then we get to the 9-team star in this tag team turmoil match, where the winner will win the WWE Tag Team Championship, the WWE Tag Team World Cup, and be considered as, you know, the best tag team in the world. Well, based on who won this match, I agree. But here were the participants: Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode defeating the Lucha House Party. Lindsay Dorado and Grand Metalik were in the match. They also defeated Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder, only to lose to Heavy Machinery and Otis and Tucker. Only for Heavy Machinery to lose against the New Day and Kofi Kingston and Big E. They end up being the B team, Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. They end up being the Revival, who are the SmackDown Tag Team Champions of Scott Dawson and Dash Water. And then only for them to lose against the OC of Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. And then the OC ends up being the Viking Raiders, who are the Raw Tag Team Champions. So thus, the OC, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, based on their records and their history of being tag teams in New Japan Pro Wrestling, with them being the best tag team over there. And now, right here, on this tag team tournament, they are the WWE best tag team in the world of winning this WWE Tag Team Cup. This WWE Tag Team World Cup, I meant to say. Match lasted 32 minutes and 5 seconds. Mansoor defeats Cesaro in 12 minutes and 45 seconds in a good match. Tyson Fury defeats Braun Strowman by countout in 8 minutes and 4 seconds. I thought it was alright. And Tyson Fury didn't embarrass himself in the match. Other than standing up like he's the Undertaker. AJ Styles being accompanied by the best tag team in the world, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, the OC, defeats Humberto Carrillo to retain his WWE United States Championship in 12 minutes and 34 seconds. We get the women's in WWE in Natalya and Lacey Evans, all covered up from neck to toe. Natalya versus Lacey Evans, 7 minutes and 21 seconds. Matches up and it didn't look that bad, based on the highlights. Natalya wins, and after the match, they embraced, they hugged, and they were emotional. Good for them. Team Hogan being accompanied by Hulk Hogan and the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. Team captain for Team Hogan, Roman Reigns, alongside with his teams, Rusev, Ricochet, Chad Gable, and Mustafa Ali, in a 10-man tag team match, defeating Team Flair, being accompanied by Ric Flair, the team captain of Team Flair, Randy Orton, along with his teams, King Corbin, Bobby Lashley, who was being covered by Lana on the stage at one point, and then she left. She was wearing some type of dress. I don't remember what type of dress it was, but Shinsuke Nakamura, unfortunately, Sami Zayn was not there because Sami Zayn, because of his religion, even though he's Canadian, but he's got a different descent of religion that he couldn't be at that country, which is why WWE is even doing business with a country that doesn't allow gays, women's. Well, for this one, it was accepted for the women's, except for the fact that Natalya and Lacey Evans of Wire, they were not received by any fans in Saudi Arabia because someone threw a bottle of war at them. But anyways, the point is, if someone like Sami Zayn couldn't be there, because of his own personality, and because also not because of that, but because of his religion, he can't be there. Anyways, and Drew McIntyre. So yeah, 19 minutes and 55 seconds, and like I said, Team Hogan wins. Roman Reigns ends up pinning Randy Orton to win. So, especially as a captain pinning a captain in the match. And finally, the Falls Count Anywhere match for the WWE Universal Championship. The match could not end. I mean, yeah. Let me try this again. For the WWE Universal Championship, the match could not have been stopped for any reason, especially a sledgehammer. 21 minutes and 20 seconds it lasted. The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, defeats Seth Rollins to become the new Universal Champion. So this is the first time ever that a title was changed hands in Saudi Arabia in WWE. And they kind of had to in a way too, but at the same time, who cares? It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you ruin Seth Rollins, which I don't care anymore. You ruin his babyface run. You ruin his title reign. Any on top of prestige of him being champion, if there was any left. You ruined the Bray Wyatt once again, and you ruin his new gimmick, his new character in The Fiend, and more importantly, you ruin the concept of the Hell in a Cell. So yeah, WWE did the right thing here by having Bray Wyatt go over, only because they received backlash of what they did to Bray Wyatt at Hell in a Cell, especially with that bullshit finish, where they claim that it was via stoppage. No, it's not via stoppage. It's a referee doesn't check at you first to see if you can continue. No, referee calls for the bell because he didn't bother checking on Bray Wyatt to see if he's okay. He rang the bell because Seth Rollins hit him with a sledgehammer at the Hell in a Cell, which is cause of DQ. There's a big difference. Referee didn't check on Bray Wyatt to see if he's okay after that sledgehammer shot. You ring the bell. That's an example of a. Let me say this again. I think I said it in the wrong way. Referee, checks on Bray Wyatt after what Seth Rollins did with the sledgehammer, hitting him with it. After everything that Seth Rollins did, check to see if he's okay. If he doesn't respond, then you ring the bell. That's a stoppage. No, instead, Seth Rollins hits Bray Wyatt with the sledgehammer. Referee calls for the bell immediately, rings the bell, because it was too much. This isn't you, and blah blah blah. So don't let WWE tell you otherwise. It was not. And Seth Rollins. Don't let WWE and Seth Rollins tell you otherwise. It wasn't via stoppage. It was via disqualification. Call it as it is, and call it as you see it. And because of that, I don't care. You have Bray Wyatt unify the Universal Championship belt and the WWE Championship belt as the Fiend. Doesn't matter. You already lost me. I'm done with WWE. I'm done with the network, which is why I unsubscribe from the WWE network. Never subscribe to the WWE network ever again, unless I see a legit change. Because the one thing that the WWE can have that legit change is by removing Vince McMahon from power. Because Vince McMahon is the problem. Vince McMahon is the toxic environment that's costing the WWE what it is today. And then on top of that, the fans that go along with it, that gives Vince McMahon the okay. Okay, I'll go with that. Vince McMahon is not just a problem. It's the fans that agree with Vince McMahon of his booking and everything else. That's what's killing the product. You're killing the product because of what you're doing. But yeah, there you go. But that was your results of the show. Now, due to this whole thing, we get to the SmackDown, and unfortunately, not everyone on SmackDown was there because of a travel issue that was delayed, and Vince McMahon is going to be most likely it's going to be losing not only respect but losing trust of these employees that were left behind by Vince McMahon, because Vince McMahon, he left while the rest of the half of the rosters and staff members. Wow, what a great boss to work with, especially for a country that does a lot of things wrong in this world. But due to this, no one showed up. Well, let me take that back. Someone did show up, Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman, because Brock Lesnar, he's got his own private jet, and obviously, and his match was a curtain jerker for Crown Jewel, so he left early. Obviously, I'm assuming he left early. And then you had guys like a Hogan and a Jimmy Hart, or Ric Flair, a Tyson Fury, Roman Reigns, and I forgot who else as well of the 28 on that left early too. But the rest of them was left behind, like Shinsuke Nakamura, the OC, I think AJ Styles, if I recall, Luke Harper, Kurt Hawkins. I'm gonna say Curtis Axel, but but him too. Even Cain Velasquez was left behind. Unbelievable. And Vince McMahon wants to still do business with them. At this point, it's not about it's not about his employees. It's not about his talents. It's about that money, not just any money, blood money. But anyways, so what did they do for this SmackDown episode? Well, let's get to it. So Brock Lesnar comes out. He's still the WWE champion. And Bobby, your commentators are Tom Phillips, Renee Young, and then at one point it was Aiden English until we'll get to why. I did watch the show. I didn't watch the show live, but I heard it was a good show for a good reason too. But I'll get to it. So Brock Lesnar appointment was out there. Basically, Bobby came back, and Caleb Braxton was being the ring announcer. Because let's see, who's the Greg Hamilton? He couldn't be there because he was left behind too. But Brock Lesnar, by look of him, he looks tired. He looked like he was bored. He didn't want to be there. Same with Paul Heyman. But Paul Heyman was doing his best to work on the mic and everything. So here's the gist of it. They want revenge on Rey Mysterio Jr., but they can't do it because he's on Raw. So Paul Heyman, was speaking for Brock Lesnar, because Brock Lesnar just stands there. And Paul Heyman says that Brock Lesnar quits SmackDown on Fox, and now they're going to Raw to hunt for Rey Mysterio Jr. Also, let me go backstage. Brock Lesnar, is leaving the building for Paul Heyman. All of a sudden, I see someone who I despise, Triple H, and then we get Shawn Michaels, who I don't despise. Despise, I meant to say. I love Shawn Michaels. I hate Triple H. And it didn't tell me anything. That didn't tell me anything or what pertains to it. But as it went, I started hearing about it. And then see who showed up. A number of people that showed up. I'm like, wow. Yeah. That should have been a sign right there for those that were watching live. That should have been a sign there of what was going to happen on SmackDown. So, we had the opening match on SmackDown, the SmackDown Women's Championship. Nikki Cross versus Bayley, who's the SmackDown Women's Champion, being accompanied by Sasha Banks. Match itself, I thought was good. Sasha Banks got involved, which it led to Bayley getting the win on Nikki Cross. So your winner is still the SmackDown Women's Champion, Bayley. Because, well, actually, I was gonna do a song, but I just realized she's not the same Bayley anymore. She's the new Bayley, where she's a heel now. I'm not saying that's what they're calling her by. With a new look and everything, new hairstyle and everything. Sasha Banks is celebrating outside the ring for Bayley. All of a sudden, we get NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler from behind, rams her into the ring post, goes in the ring, goes to beat up on Bayley, and Shayna Baszler makes a statement on SmackDown because it's an NXT invasion, and now I mention this too now. So after on the assault by Shayna Baszler to the SmackDown Women's in Sasha Banks, also the Nikki Cross too, by the way, but also the SmackDown Women's the SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley. After that was done, Shayna Baszler made her mark. Aiden English on commentary said, "The Queen of Hearts." So thank God for Tom Phillips for correcting him. No, she's the Queen of Spades. The Queen of Hearts you're thinking of is Natalya, you moron. I think Aiden English should stick to wrestling because commentary. And let's be honest, with him on commentary, especially when it comes to 205 Live, when Humberto Carrillo was on there, he was cringy on commentary. But thank God he was replaced after that. I'm just gonna call it as it is. I believe Aiden English was replaced not only because he's cringy on commentary, but because he called Shayna Baszler the Queen of Hearts. No, she's the Queen of Spades. Clearly, you never watch NXT to know that, Aiden English. Especially you came from NXT. Renee Young came from NXT. Tom Phillips came from NXT. AOS came from NXT as well. Bayley came from NXT. Sasha Banks came from NXT. Nikki Cross came from NXT. Now, Alexa Bliss wasn't there. She was injured, by the way. She was not one of those people that was left behind, but she's injured, shoulder injury, something like that. I'm trying to remember what it was, but that's right. And that also, I thought it was weird why Alexa Bliss wasn't there, to be in the corner for Nikki Cross, and then I found out she was because she was injured. She wasn't clear to show up on the show, so we got a new commentator to take Aiden English's place, which thank God. Aiden English is cringy on commentary. And this commentator ends up being Pat excuse me, Pat McAfee. And I remember him. Where chance to him doing something with WWE on YouTube, and also he's a big fan of NXT, and it was a right fit for him to be on commentary as well, because he's also done some pre-show work for NXT, where chance to take over shows, and done some pre-shows for WWE's main pay-per-views as well. So yeah, Pat McAfee. I think that's how you say his last name, but yeah, he was good on commentary. I love him. I love him on commentary. All three of them did a good job. Tom Phillips, Renee Young, uh, Pac 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 McAfee. Pac McAfee. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. But hopefully I'll get it right next time. So yeah, three of them were good. In the English, not so good. Especially that botched. And there you go. That was it for him. You're done. You can go home. Or wait until after the show's over, because after the show you could do your 205 Live commentary to sound cringy. We got Kathy Kelly, also came from NXT. She's interviewing Sami Zayn backstage. Sami Zayn also came from NXT. He's interviewing all that. He's like talk about the guys coming nowhere from, basically talk about how NXT is going to show up and everything. And they better step up with him, otherwise it's going to be bad news. All of a sudden, Matt Riddle and Keith Lee shows up. NXT stars. And basically Sami Zayn was trying to kiss up with them and all that. He was walking away from them. And they were following him. He starts running away from them. He starts going to the ring. Riddle and Keith follows along with him, and they beat him up. And that was basically it. Yeah, NXT are invading SmackDown, which is why I'm going to be calling this review NXT SmackDown review. This show from November 1st, 2019. Then we get Miz TV. Now, originally from Miz TV, we're supposed to get Bray Wyatt to be the the guest on Miz TV. But unfortunately, we couldn't get that. Speaking of the Miz, who's part of NXT, back when Vince McMahon in 2010 was doing his NXT thing, his sports entertainment NXT thing, where the Miz was a pro for Daniel Bryan for season 1, and then from season 2 he was a pro again to be with Alex Riley. So Miz decided, instead of Bray Wyatt, to being the guest of Miz TV, he decided to talk about himself and everything. And all of a sudden, the music hits of Tommaso Ciampa from NXT. No one will survive. He comes out, and they have basically Ciampa gets on the mic and says, Miz TV is supposed to be must-see TV. Miz is supposed to be one of the most must-see superstars. Ciampa says, meanwhile, Ciampa introduces himself as the greatest sports entertainer of all time, and says that Miz stands here like the world is supposed to revolve around him. But it's time someone came out here to show him where he sits on the food chain. Ciampa says Miz is everything that's wrong with Raw and SmackDown. Ciampa says what he does in NXT, and says while Miz is playing on the part, Tommaso Ciampa is the part. And then Miz starts talking, about how he's been talking about how people have been talking down on him for years and all that. And he's like, he's been doing it for 15 years and everything, and people have been telling him this for 15 years that he doesn't belong and all that. And he says, Miz kind of botched this, by the way. He says if I was playing the part, if I was acting for 15 years, then I deserve a freaking Oscar. I think that's how he said it, Oscar. And I say to myself, don't you mean Oscar? No, he could have saved himself by saying stuff. I deserve a freaking Academy Award, instead of saying the word Oscar, because he bossed that. He mispronounced it. But then this led to a match between Tommaso Ciampa versus The Miz. Good match, by the way. In the end, Tommaso Ciampa wins against The Miz. Oh, by the way, we're returning to Caleb Braxton. Yeah, I gotta mention right now because Kate Braxton was on the show being the ring announcer. Because since Greg Hamilton couldn't be the ring announcer, Kate Braxton also who came from NXT as an interviewer and as a ring announcer. So there you go. And then we get to Daniel Bryan, also who came from NXT. When Vince McMahon was doing his NXT, when Dan Bryan was the NXT Pro. Dan Bryan was the NXT rookie, and should I say NXT rookie? Even though at that time he's been in the business for 10 years, but he's a rookie. Okay, but he was a rookie alongside with his NXT Pro, The Miz. And Dan Bryan later on, I believe it was the 4th season of NXT, where it was through Vince McMahon's NXT. Dan Bryan ends up being the NXT Pro for the NXT Rookie in Derek Bateman, who we now know as Ethan Carter III, EC3. But Dan Bryan, he was shown backstage. He bumps into Triple H and Shawn Michaels. He asks why they're here. Triple H brings up the three brands will be doing battle for Survivor Series. So it's confirmed. At that time it was confirmed that it's going to be Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT theme for Survivor Series. Great. Doesn't mean that NXT is going to win though, because I know Vince McMahon. It's going to be the same thing like last year with Survivor Series, where SmackDown got the Fox deal, and the Vince McMahon decided to bury the entire SmackDown roster in every single match from that main card. A clean sweep for winning that Raw by clean sweeping SmackDown, basically showing them in the way that who's the real A show. I'll tell you one thing: Raw, SmackDown, neither of them are the A show. NXT is the A show. So when it pertains to Survivor Series this year, it would not fucking surprise me if NXT ends up losing this in Survivor Series in every single match, even the pre-show. But then again, pre-shows don't matter. But then Bryan challenges Triple H, and I say to myself, why would they tease that? Why would I care to see Triple H wrestle against Daniel Bryan? Just for Triple H to try to get his win back. So instead, Triple H was teasing and everything. He's like, "But I don't have my ring gear." And Shawn Michaels takes off his jacket or coat, whatever it was. Well, I think it was his vest. I think it was his vest. I can't remember, but Michaels was teasing too. But then Triple H calls. He's like, "Hey, champ," and I knew who it was. Adam Cole, baby, the NXT champion. Now, what's upsetting about this one is that Adam Cole didn't say much here. Meanwhile, you have Triple H saying a whole lot. Yeah, another way for Triple H to stroke his ego, jerk himself off to be on TV to say a lot of words. Meanwhile, you can't have Adam Cole say more than 2 to 3 words. But this match led to the main event. We'll get to that later. It ends up being for the NXT Championship, by the way. I'll get to that later. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, Fire and Desire. They go up against what originally was supposed to go up against Dana Brooke and Carmella. Which, by the way, Dana Brooke and Carmella came from NXT. But they are also Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville also came from NXT. But that was supposed to be their opponent. But unfortunately, Dana Brooke and Carmella were attacked by Bianca Belair from NXT. But yeah, basically Bianca Belair destroyed Dana Brooke and to expose Carmella. So now Randy Rose and Sonya Deville are waiting for because they're supposed to have a match. All of a sudden we get Rhea Ripley. This is my brutality. And her tag team partner, Tegan Knox. Here's what I don't like about this. Rhea Ripley and Tegan Knox. Now, I get they're supposed to be teams for NXT's Takeover War Games against Shayna Baszler's team. But if you remember last year, for the Mae Young Classic 2018, excuse me, Tegan Knox suffered an injury, where she had to get surgery. I'm trying to remember which knee it was, though. I think it was the right knee that got hurt. Because I think originally it was originally her left knee got hurt when she couldn't compete in the first Mae Young Classic back in 2017. 2018 she finally did, only for her to get hurt from her right knee. I'm assuming it's her right knee. Pertains to her MCL. And it was a match against Rhea Ripley, and Rhea Ripley, the aftermath of it, on Twitter, she kept making fun of Tegan Knox and everything. And it was supposed to lead to like a feud or something like that between these two when Tegan Knox returns. But they never follow up on it. Triple H. And here they are, coming out there looking like they're best friends. So yeah, Tegan Knox is like, I forgive you for what you wrote on Twitter and everything and making fun of me and all that blah blah blah. I forgive you. I guess all's forgiven. All time heals wounds, right? Stupid. But they ended up coming out, and they ended up facing against Fire and Desire. Match itself was good. You have Tegan Knox throwing kind of throwing Sonya Deville over the broadcast. I mean the broadcast table. I meant to say. And when I say sort of, she tried not to have Sonya Deville go on top, go on the commentators, because the commentators, they had no idea what was coming, especially Renee Young. So what does Sonya Deville do? She decides to throw herself over in a way, and her foot caught in the face of Renee Young. But Renee, I'll give credit to Renee Young though. She took it like a champ. She took it like a champ. So props to her for that. But in the end, it was Tegan Knox and Rhea Ripley winning the match, with Rhea Ripley going for the clover leaf, the standing clover leaf, onto Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose taps out, and Tegan Knox and Rhea Ripley wins. And once again, they're celebrating and all that, looking at like the best friends, like this whole thing that they did like the whole thing that happened last year, with was a Twitter war and all that, and beef and everything. It's all forgotten about. And then we get Triple H and Shawn Michaels coming out so that they could be at ringside. All of a sudden, Stephanie McMahon comes out. I skipped it, but what she said, you're probably wondering what she said here. She was basically pandering, kissing the ass, and taking credit and all that, since the women's revolution, because Lacey Evans and Natalya made history. She's stroking her ego, like she always does, just like her husband. But unlike Triple H, Stephanie McMahon is the worst. More stroking her ego, because she's proud. She has no shame of pertaining to this. She's got to take credit for something that she has nothing to do with anyways in the first place. The hell with her. The hell with Stephanie McMahon. She's worse for the business too. God forbid when Vince McMahon is gone from WWE, Stephanie McMahon is gonna be no better. Because this is the same Stephanie McMahon who said that WWE in the next 5 to 10 years, she sees WWE being bigger than Disney. Disney. Disney pictures, Disney, movies, anything that's on that has to do with Disney. WWE to be bigger than Disney. Well, guess what, Stephanie? Based on Disney Plus, says otherwise, because unlike on the WWE Network that can get 10 millions to to subscribe to Disney Plus, because I am a new subscriber to Disney Plus. In a way, and how ironic too, by the way. I used to be a subscriber to the WWE Network, so, but not anymore. I canceled my WWE Network, and I decided to go to a new network that's better than WWE, and that's Disney. Disney Plus. That's over 10 million followers, or 10 million subscribers in a way. And it's going to keep getting bigger and bigger. Unlike WWE, it's going to keep decreasing and decreasing and decreasing. So yes, David McMahon, you say that last year in the straight face said that WWE in the next 5 to 10 years or whatever, she could see that WWE is going to be is going to be bigger than Disney. What a joke. Yeah, let's see if that prophecy comes true, which is not. So get your delusional bubbly self into the reality. It's never WWE will never be bigger than Disney. Hell, WWE it's not even bigger than New Japan Pro Wrestling. Fuck out of here. Main event time. The WWE NXT Championship. Daniel Bryan versus the champion, Adam Cole, baby. This was a great match. Daniel Bryan was taking Adam Cole to the limit. Adam Cole was fighting him back in the match. I love the match. It was incredible. And in the end, Daniel Bryan was trying to go for his running knee, but Adam Cole, super kick, Paramount Sunrise, last shot, and gets the win. And then after the match, we got Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and then you had Pat coming off of commentary, and then you had the rest of the NXT stars coming into the ring, and you even have the NXT Cruiserweight Champion, Leo Rush, coming in. And I'm seeing this and everything. I'm saying to myself, okay, I see a couple of people from NXT, like Candice LeRae and a few others, are there, and they're alongside with Shayna Baszler. Even though they're supposed to be going to war, where it tends to take over war games. But hey, it's a different world, right? It's different from NXT than the main roster, right? Because it's not about building up NXT Takeover or War Games. It's about building up WWE Survivor Series. But for fans like me, my intelligence once again was insulted. About Triple H card promo, I didn't care. Basically, he pulls over NXT and saying, we're going to war and blah blah blah. I didn't care for Triple H saying all that. Like, the hell with Triple H. Triple H once again stroking his ego. So I don't care. And that was SmackDown. That was NXT SmackDown, because that's what it was. NXT was SmackDown. I mean, SmackDown was NXT because the SmackDown stars that was supposed to be there couldn't be there. And before I move on, before I get to my tomorrow wrestling matches, the tomorrow wrestling matches that was on the show, and before I get to the overall summary as well, I want to talk about this too. So, after getting this SmackDown show, I'm calling it this NXT SmackDown show, NXT SmackDown from November 1st, 2019. The best SmackDown all year so far in 2019. The best SmackDown I've ever seen in 2019. And yet you got these fans that said it was a terrible show because NXT invaded SmackDown. And then a week later, the SmackDown that y'all supposed to get end up sucking, because in addition of this SmackDown, it was supposed to be Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin in the main event, but because they couldn't show up on SmackDown, they had to change. They had to call an audible, and we got Adam Cole and Dan Bryan in the main event for the NXT Championship, and it was a great match. And then a week later, after hearing about Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns match in the main event for SmackDown, not so much. And on top of that, the SmackDown the SmackDown after this SmackDown, you know, basically the Friday Night SmackDown after this NXT SmackDown, that's a better way to say it. That was the Friday Night SmackDown show was supposed to be the SmackDown show that the that NXT SmackDown was supposed to be. The Friday Night SmackDowns was supposed to be NXT SmackDown show, and it was of what I heard, it was a terrible show. No surprise, right? So for those fans that were saying that NXT, showing up on this SmackDown show was a terrible show or the worst show ever, and then a week later you end up getting this show, SmackDown, which that show I thought that was worse, based on all the reviews I hear from other people. If these type of fans that say that this show SmackDown sucked because NXT showed up and it was the worst, at this point you need to stop watching wrestling. Pack up your bags and quit watching wrestling at this point, because at this point you don't know what the fuck you want in wrestling anymore. You're more out of touch than Vince McMahon himself is out of touch. I couldn't believe it. It was the ridiculous thing I heard on social media and on YouTube that SmackDown was the worst show because NXT showed up. With this whole NXT invasion, it was a joke and everything. These people are their minds. It's like they don't know what they want in wrestling anymore. It's like they want this shit to suck. It's like they want Raw. It's like they want Raw and SmackDown to suck. With the addition of these NXT wrestlers coming into the show, saving the show. That's what they did. Now I can't say the same thing about Raw, because I heard Raw wasn't that good. But I can't make a judgment on that because I don't watch Raw anymore. Because we all know how Raw is trash, especially with going on 3 hours long. But for those fans that saying this, that NXT invading SmackDown, and that SmackDown show ends up being the worst show, and then meanwhile, weeks later, you get other SmackDown shows the weeks after that, and those shows were terrible based on what I heard on what happened on that show. Yeah, at this point, just stop watching wrestling. At this point, do something else in your time, and not talk about wrestling anymore, and don't even worry about wrestling anymore. If that's gonna be your mentality. It's people like them are the problem of professional wrestling. Not fans like me. Fans like them is the problem of professional wrestling nowadays. So, Tournament Wrestling for NXT SmackDown, the show from November 1st, 2019. 4 matches. And my overall rating for the show, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. That's how I feel about SmackDown. I thought it was a great show. That's why I'm going to give it I haven't given SmackDown a 10 out of 10 for a long ass time. I don't think I ever did give a SmackDown show a 10 out of 10 ever since I started YouTube. I guarantee you, in the past, if I was doing any videos or whatever, to put myself out there, with all the great SmackDown, with all the great SmackDown shows I've seen during the Ruthless Aggression era and the Attitude era, and maybe to a degree of the PG era, I probably will give it a 10 out of 10. But yeah, I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. I enjoy the show, and unfortunately, we're not gonna get this ever again. And based on what they did, weeks later, with Raw and SmackDown, yeah, I made the decision. I made the right decision by not watching them. So, but with that being said, thank you all for watching. For It's Natural Born Thriller, saying peace on the streets. For this was your first and only time you'll be getting an NXT SmackDown review. which was the show from November 1st, 2019. So until next time, folks, where it pertains to the NXT review this time, I'm out.